How's it going, guys? This is Ted
Awesome.
Davies with Ted Davies Artistry, and we are live today. We are talking to Jake Estrada and Carl Witzman,
Hi.
and we are talking about promoting your peers. No competition, enough of that already in the world. So we just want to be a community of people that are bringing everybody's good work to fruition. Everybody can see what we're doing, and that's what this is about. So what I want to do is I want to introduce myself a little bit. My name is Ted Davies. I'm an artist and author of Retrieve and Albino Zulu. And I've been doing this for a few years now. I've been in comic book art and that type of thing for the last 40 years, but started getting published about 2 years. So 2 years ago. Retrieve right now is being scripted for option for movies. So we're excited about that. And that's really what I've got going on right now. So I want to introduce Jake Estrada. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Jake.
Hey guys, Jake Estrada. I live in Florida, where we know what's going on right now. But let's keep it clean, guys. I'm clean. But all seriousness, I've been making comics for about between 15 to 20 years. I jumped into creating my first comic book hero, or anti-hero, I called it, Bocas. And I was living out in the Philly, New Jersey area at the time, and I self-published that and I self-distributed that. And then I jumped in, started working for the Spanish newspaper, doing a comic strip for them. And Mar was featured in several different magazines and local Spanish newspapers throughout the United States. And then I also self-published several other different comics, like the Perez Hayes Zombies, Pedro Abizo Campos biography comic book, and multiple other comics. And then I was doing this magazine called Space Coast Comics here in Brevard County in Florida, which was a free comic book magazine that I distributed in about maybe 150 different locations. Wow. And we had at one point at the height of it, we had about 5,000 copies being printed a month.
Wow.
And then ultimately I ceased publication of that magazine when I had a family tragedy, that caused me to stop wanting to do anything. And then it wasn't for my good friend Chuck Fresh that got me to saying, hey, why don't you make a movie out of one of your comics? And I had already done some independent films already as an actor, never as a director. So that's when I jumped and started writing a screenplay for my movie Bocas. And I ultimately released Bocas this past October.
Awesome.
And Bocas, right there's a Blu-ray of it. It played in several small independent film theaters out here in Florida. And you can find it streaming on Amazon Prime.
Oh, excellent. Excellent.
So then, with the local coronavirus thing, we can't film anymore. I was filming another movie and I had to shut down production of that film. So I went back, started drawing comics again. And I have a Kickstarter live right now going.
Good deal.
Golden Cream Core.
What was it again? I'm sorry.
Golden Cream Core.
Yes. Okay, good. And we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end. I make sure everybody knows what the links are and all that good stuff. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. You've got to pivot during in life, and a lot of tragedies in our lives. We have to pivot, whether it's personal or if it's COVID or whatever. So good, man. Good on you. Good on you. How about you, Carl? Tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
Well, I started out a long time ago as a counselor in mental health, and so yeah, you're right, Ted. Change is the most stressful thing that'll ever happen to you, even good change.
Yeah.
So we all have to pivot, like you say. In writing, I've written a lot of articles, magazine articles, things that have been published in the mainstream, but I always wanted to write, for myself. And so I've written a couple of computer books and some comedic books. I'm very much into the comedy. And then recently wrote a thriller kind of thing.
So what is this? What is this one?
This is the Mad Gasser Cheerleader of Calhoun County. I took some real events and loosely based some other things on them, mashing them together and making a story out of it.
Awesome.
That's great. Good. Made it your own.
Yeah.
Cool. Good deal. So what's the duration? Is it only one book, or is it a few books, or is it just one story?
I wanted to kill my villain off at the end, but something stopped me. Okay. So he may come back.
Okay, cool. All right. Don't give us all the story because I want people buying it. I know I'm going to be buying it here soon. So and we'll talk about where you can reach that information too, or where to purchase and all that a little bit later.
Sure.
I wanted to get started on, and you guys I'm glad that you guys took the time. It's something that I want people to know that I've only met Jake and Carl probably 2 months ago, and it's important that we as a group not always look at the same, all due respect, group of people that we've been hanging out with and that we've been doing. You should broaden your perspective a little bit, and that's kind of what this is about. I wanted to show people that a little bit of a fresh, new idea. That meeting Jake and meeting Carl, I've had a little bit of a new wave of energy come in, and that's a good thing. So look for that in the interim when you're meeting people, and find people that you are like-minded, that you can maybe inspire each other with. And that's what promoting your peers is all about. I think it's not just about the monetary side of it. Let me ask you this. Let me start out with Jake. I've got 3 questions, but we're going to start out with one, and then we'll advance a little bit here.
Okay.
And this goes for you, Carl, too, after Jake's done with his passionate answer, I'm sure. Why should we promote others, Jake?
Oh, because, the answer's bubbling in my mind. I can't spit it out.
No problem.
But,
take your time. We got an hour.
It's important that we share one another, because, by me sharing you, I'm helping you grow. And I'm also showing people your awesome book, and it shows that, we're a brotherhood or a sisterhood. We're all in this together, If I help you out and I help Carl out, I'm better in the world, because you guys got awesome stories. You got awesome, artwork. You got awesome, worlds that you want to share with the universe. And I think, if it would be boring that I would be like, nah, I am not sharing that guy, because that guy's my competitor. No.
Right.
I'm just going to share my stories.
Right.
And, that just kind of make you also look like you're a self-centered jerk.
Yeah.
And really, for me, I love fiction. I love stories. I love comic books. If I bought your comic, which I have, and I enjoyed, I'm like, I'm telling everybody about this guy's story, regardless of, if he is a competitor, because I'm like, and comic books is a niche market as well, as a comic book creator, it's a niche market. And really, you got to think about, we have like 7 billion, 8 billion people on Earth. And,
easily.
And the top selling comic book is like, 100,000 comic books being sold. Think about that. That's just a small little fraction. So
barely a dent. We're
not even touching the population. So there's enough room out there for all of us to grow. And that's an enrichment of the world. Fiction writing. If we lived in a society that we didn't share each other's work, we didn't share each other's art, this would be almost a boring, dull existence. I would almost say. I could just imagine it being like Fahrenheit 451,
Yeah.
No, exactly. I don't share nobody. This is my society.
Yeah, and that's fine if that's the way you want to be. That's not the world I want to live in.
No, not me.
I think we can create it, and we can,
grow together.
Absolutely. And everybody knows Brian K. Morris here, and I think that Rising Tides is such a popular show because
message always.
Yeah, every ship is raised with the tide, and that's and that's extremely important. It's words to live by. So, how about you, Carl? Tell me, why should we promote each other?
Well, I worked for many years in rehabilitation. Okay, so getting somebody who has maybe a disability or an injury, and getting them back to work was my goal. And so I was their partner. I was their mentor. I was able to get that person from a place of feeling injured to getting back to maybe where they were before, maybe even better. Get retraining and get another job that's even better than the one they had before they were injured. So for me, that's been a goal for many, many years. And so then I've started, like you say, watching Brian and some others and getting involved there and thinking, writing doesn't have to be as lonely as you think it is.
Sure.
If you reach out. See, It's like, is somebody going to reach out to you first, or are you going to reach out to them? And a lot of times I think people will wait until somebody else gives them a permission, or, gives their hand down. And sometimes you have to do that first.
They're too polite sometimes.
Well, or nobody knows you're struggling.
Right.
Nobody knows you're struggling until you reach out to them and you help them with something, and then they can help you with something. And so that's how I've gotten involved with all this.
Right. And I'm giving permission to everybody that's is associated with me that, I insist that we help each other. That's just part of that is my strategy. That is how I am in business. I help you, you help me, whether it's sharing, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just help each other, be polite about it. Have the best intention, and that's why you guys are here. That's why you guys are here. So, okay, let me get on to number 2, and this might be a little bit more in depth. I think that there's something that in today's world, COVID's hit us all financially. Some of us for the better, some of us for the worse. And with that, our second question is, how do we promote? Do we spend dollars promoting people, purchasing their goods? Do we just share their posts on Facebook, or do we give them shout outs on video? And I'm going to start it with Carl. You go ahead.
Wow. Okay.
What do you think? Let me rephrase that. What do you think promotion is? Do you think it's just monetary? Do you think it's sharing, or do you think it's shout out, or do you think it's all combined?
I would have to say all combined. Now, see, I'm lucky because I'm retired now, and I have a pension that just keeps going. So I was able to use that money to buy books of other people. People that I knew were struggling.
Right.
Even if I'm not interested in their book, or I don't even care about their Kickstarter, I was kicking in $1 here, $1 there, $10 here.
Sure.
Because I had the money, and I know they didn't. So I thought it was kind of my duty financially and spiritually, perhaps, to help them out, help a brother out, Also, at the same time, to use the power I have in my little circle to say, hey, you guys should look over here too. Look at what this person has written. And so using that power of support, and then going on and writing reviews of stuff that I've read before,
Absolutely.
And going on and writing a review. And even if it's been published a couple of years ago, putting a review on Amazon or something like that can help that person out. So
now, do you do it for algorithm, or do you do it for
for their
ego boost? I mean, it's a two for really, because you do help out the algorithms, but
I'm winking at you now. Yeah. That's the psychological side of me. I'm giving them an ego boost, but I'm also saying, I'll help your algorithm because I care about what you're doing here. And, the ego boost comes along with that, I think. But I don't mention that because, if I say, hey, I think you're a great writer.
Right.
And they go, oh, well, okay.
Right.
And then they want to ask me a question about it. I'm like, okay, maybe I can't answer that question.
Right. So how about you, Jake? What do you think?
I think it's everything, it's like if you have, you see a project and you look at it and you're like, wow, it's great. And like Carl said, if you can give the person $1, that dollar is helping them, get to their finish line, their goal. And, you share the project, you can contribute to it. You give shout out, you write, like you said, you go onto their Amazon, if they have a book, and you go and you write out a nice, a nice little write up about, what you thought about it and everything like that. And, I always think, a positive message helps these creators go a long way. It might help the algorithm, might also help, ego boost for that creator, because that you never know, that creator himself could be going through a really dark period, thinking, man, I'm a loser. Nobody cares about my project, and your message might actually add fuel to their fire, and it might become the next James Patterson or Stephen King.
Right.
You don't know, you know.
Yeah.
And I think we're all in this together, and that's the big thing about that. Some people say, "Well, I don't have money to help you. I don't know how." I'm like, dude, all it requires you is give me a like on a Facebook post.
Yep.
Or a share or
Share.
something, or mention it to your friends like, hey, check out my buddy's book here,
Mhm.
and the next person seeing it might fall in love and become your next fan, your super fan.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right. I think that with all of it, promotion is and I tell people this too that are having hard time writing, or they aren't inspired. They've had their family members come down on them, or their friends, the friends that really aren't really friends. They're more, leeches. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
you
get to
get
the
a lot
point.
of that.
We've all had that.
We've all had.
I know our listeners have had that too, and it's you've got it to the point where you've got to curate your life. And Facebook is really important about this because in the internet in general, curation is really important. And what I mean by that is by filtering out the negative, getting away from the people that isn't promotion. That's punishment as far as I'm concerned. And you need to get rid of that. If you want to call it cancer or whatever, just get rid of the negativity. Yeah. Get rid of it. You don't need to have people that are going to, I'm not saying that you have to, blow smoke, up everybody. I'm not saying that. You just need to have it so that you're being real with people, but you're not being insulting to them. You can be assertive and not insulting. And
Well,
it's.
I'm sorry.
No,
It's kinda
go for it.
Jake was saying, when you do a review or you do a positive share for somebody, you're not just boosting their ego just to boost it.
Right.
If you can say, I read your piece and I really like how you took this character from here to there, and I like how you handled that particular scene, you're giving them a positive feedback that they can use again, and they will. I mean, that's much better than saying, "Oh, hey, you're a great person."
Right.
Right. Because what am I supposed to do with that?
Right. I mean, it's very nice of you, but yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Tell me something specific about what I did.
Right.
And I can take that and I can go, okay, good. Maybe I need to do more of that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
and that's, that puts it in the memory bank too for them, because they'll remember you. And I'm not saying it from doing it from that intention of, oh, I'm going to do this because I know they're going to pay me back somewhere down the line. You're talking people off a ledge sometimes by just giving them that little bit,
Sure.
It means the world that somebody has taken 10 minutes and said, hey, you know what? I love the way that story, or I love the way that piece of artwork looks. I love your style, man. That's such a cool way of doing your art. That's a huge thing for me. You know what I mean? And and whether it's writing or whether it's watercolor, I mean, I get it. I totally understand. And that's why I'm so passionate about trying to help people and thank them. When everybody shares my post, or I'm always saying thank you, or I try to. If I don't, I'm letting everybody know now you're thanked in advance. So thank you.
Thank you.
Right. So, but promotion, I think too, is, it's the best form of compassion and empathy too. I think that you can promote somebody if it is a share or if it's a like. You don't have to do it financially, is my viewpoint. Right. Because I know that not everybody has the cash to do it, and it's hard. Sometimes they don't have a credit card. Whatever the situation is. A lot of us years ago, child support was a murderer for me financially, and I love my kids, and of course they came first. But boy, it was a struggle. Even in the best of times. So in that, you can still promote by being a positive influence on people, being real, being authentic, and not trying to be competitive with everybody all the time. Yeah. That's not the group I want to be in. That's not the group I want to be in. But I think that there's now how do we do that? Do we put a little bit of money into PayPal for people? Do we just share their posts? Do we like their post? Is it just enough to like their post, or do we have to share it, or maybe write a post? One thing that Carl does, he'll always make a comment, and it does build algorithm on YouTube. He'll always make a comment on something I've done, and I've got a handful of people that do that. And Jake, I know you do too. You make a statement, and it does kick up the algorithms, and that's more valuable than a $5 spot in PayPal, as far as I'm concerned, because it goes further. I end up seeing my counts 3,000, 4,000 people that have seen this because somebody took the time and just wrote one sentence. So, what about you, Jake, or Carl? Go ahead, or either one.
I was just going to go a little further with what you said. Is that we each have our friends.
Mhm.
and people
Exactly.
who watch this,
Mhm.
And when I go over and I say, Ted, that was a great video.
Mhm.
One of my friends is going to say, what did Carl like over there? And they're looking over there and they see your video.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's why I do that with the comments. And
Mhm.
I'm retired now. I have nothing better to do than hang around on Facebook and YouTube and make comments. So, hey, I can help somebody out.
That's good. How about you, Jake?
That's a big thing. To me, I just think it's important that I share other people's work, especially if I like it, I'm like, whoa. Other people have to like this too.
Mhm.
And I know,
Right.
like
Yeah.
Carl's saying, I mean, on Facebook already, I've hit the max 5,000 friends. I mean, I have
Right.
100 people
Right.
waiting to friend me, and I'm like, sorry guys, I message them all the time. Once somebody unfriends me for whatever I say, you'll be
Yeah.
next on the list.
Yeah.
So,
It's like whatever. Yeah.
yeah, so I share away on all my pages and all my groups I'm in. If I
Mhm.
see something I like, I'm like, I have to share this because I want to help you grow. I want to help everyone that I meet along the way and to grow. And
Yeah.
especially I see him and I'm like, yo man, this guy's grinding away. People got to see this guy because my friend might become your friend.
Mhm.
Your fan. And that's
Yeah.
how we all grow.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And that's true. True. When I was raising my kids, they're both adults now, and it was something I've said this before in other interviews is that we're connected. All of us are connected, and it's networking's important, but don't do it to your advantage only. If you meet somebody and they're there to help, and you find a way that they can help you, fine. But make sure that you do something for them in return. You maybe you can help them out down the road sometime later. You never know. You might know somebody that they might need help with. It might be a
Yeah.
mechanic. It might be a movie director. It might be whoever. But there's something that there's got to be a reciprocating factor in it, and that's what promotion. But don't do it in the intent that it's what can I get out of this person? If you do that, then you've ruined it all. You're going to
Yeah.
start
Exactly.
new. You're going to start new, fresh.
Because I've actually met people like that. They're like,
Mhm.
hey, I shared your page. How come you
Sure.
didn't share mine?
Right,
And
right.
you're like, whoa. When I do something, I'm not expecting you to
Right.
turn around and share mine. I'm just doing it because I think I like what I saw, and I want people to see that.
Sure.
And I value you as a friend. I'm like, hey, I want my friend to meet my fans because I
Mhm.
know my fans will love what this guy's
What they're
doing over here.
Sure. Sure.
And I'm not expecting, you to turn around and be like, "Oh, Jake just shared it. I'm gonna have to share his now." No. I never expect that.
Yeah.
You do you when you have to do you. As I
Right,
always say,
right.
I'm just doing something that I admire and I appreciate and I
Mhm.
want to see prosper and grow.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's for
And
me. It's not for you.
And I've done that same kind of thing, Jake, where I will pick out particular people.
Yeah.
Will like this. Like I'll say, hey, Jake's done something really great. I want you to see it, and I'll tag them on it if it's Facebook, or I'll send it to them via YouTube, and I'll send it in their email. I'll say,
Mhm.
you've got to see this, and I
Yeah.
think people appreciate that. That's what Ted was talking about when you're kind of what did you call it, Ted?
Intention. What? Empathy. What?
No,
Right.
when
It's
you're-
a few things.
when you're looking through it and you're curating it.
Curating. Yeah. Curating.
And I think people appreciate that because I appreciate when somebody has looked at something, they pick something out, and I go, yes,
Hmm.
that is exactly what I wanted to see.
Right.
And
Right.
I will listen to that person then more the next time.
Right.
And I think that helps share around too. So when I will do that, I'll do exactly what Jake is saying. I'll share it out, but sometimes I'll share it out to one person or two people.
Yes.
Right.
Very
Right.
specific person because that person's going to like it.
Sure.
Exactly. Yeah.
Do you think it's more of a I don't think it's a not a necessity. What's the word I'm looking for? I think it's a privilege that we're able to do that. And I don't mean that, I've got people that you see them post things on Facebook, I'm going to kill myself or whatever, and it's hard because the mindset there is I feel terribly when they're in that mindset, you know what I mean? And you want to help them, but you don't really know what to do. I'm not trained for that. Carl, you might have been trained for that. I'm not. But as a human being,
Facebook is not the place to do that.
thank you. And but
Yeah.
what I mean, but what I mean by that
911 if this is a real emergency.
is it's not a right. It's
I'm
not
sorry.
a privilege though.
Please help me.
Right. It's not a privilege to do that.
No.
You feel like it's a requirement. It's a necessity that you have to do, and that's what I don't want. As far as not that I'm comparing promoting somebody to talking people off the ledge, but
Right.
that is a very similar thing because and I say this because there's two ways you can look at it. I say it because there's people that I know that they're not suicidal, but they're suicidal about their talent, about their writing talent, and about their ability to draw. Nobody likes my work. It's crayons. It's garbage. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, who do you think you're going to inspire in 5 years if you stop now? Who are you not going to inspire? What if you were the person, that catalyst that somebody is going to write 10, 20 years from now? It's going to spawn something that 100 people are going to read and be not infected, but it's the wrong term to use right now, but you know what I mean, inspired to where they can create. You don't know. I've met people that I never thought in the world that I'd meet and have said to me, I'm so glad you took that time to write that, because it got me out of a really rough spot. It got me some entertainment when I was going through my divorce or whatever it was. And it's humbling, yeah. So promoting is a very thin line between promoting and inspiring. And I think that we got that on that question. That's good. I'm glad you guys answered that one. So what's okay, Carl, let's rubber meets the road here. All right. And you too, Jake. I kind of know what Jake's already going to say. The third question, what do you expect from peers you promote? And don't do one word thing. I'm talking dig deep on this one. What do you expect from other peers you promote?
I don't expect anything back from them. Now, if they say thank you, that's nice. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
But that's all the further I expect from them. Now, if they want to go further than that, great. But I'm gonna leave that up to their choice, their conscience, their whatever. Because I can promote myself pretty much. I mean, to the point that I want to. And
Sure.
I really don't expect them to come back and go, feeling guilty, going, well, I best promote him. Because I don't want that. No, thank you.
You don't want the guilt trip on them. Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not the proper way to promote. You're guilted into promoting it. Yeah.
Yeah. I suppose you ought to like this guy.
Right.
I don't want that. Thank you.
Sure.
But if they really mean it, then that's great,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I know I have a friend who says, that I'm a great writer, and I'm thinking, you never bought one of my books. You're
Right.
not even on my
Right.
page on Facebook.
Right.
How do you know that? You're just, and that's just superfluous.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. They're trying to be nice, but it's not looking good in my head.
Right.
Like, yo, man, you didn't give me $10. What's up?
Right. Right. How about you, Jake? What do you expect from peers you promote? And you can listen, be real, man. I'm gonna tell you when you're done exactly what I think and what I expect.
I expect greatness from you. That's what I expect. That's
Mhm.
what if I'm
That's
sharing
good.
you, I'm expecting greatness from you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
that's how I look at it. I'm sharing. I'm like, wow, this guy got some awesome art style. I want other people to see how great this guy is. And besides that, I'm not expecting much more than like what Carl said. If you give me a thank you, awesome. If you don't, I know you're busy. And that's how I look at it. We live in very busy times,
Sure,
stressful times.
Yeah.
Especially right now, what's going on in our country here in the U.S.
Yep.
So, if you forget to say thank you, I'm not going to hold that against you. I'm not going to be like, yo, man, you didn't say thank you to me. Here's my 9mm. Say thank you.
Yeah. Right. Right. Right.
Exactly. It's kind of like setting off a rocket, Jake. You push a button or
Good
you light
analogy.
the fuse,
Yep.
Yeah.
and you let it go, and you hope that it gets up there really high.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But you don't want it to come back down on your head. But
Right.
Yeah.
but you just want to see success from that person.
Yeah,
Right.
that's all.
Right. I feel that way too. I think that I think the most frustrating thing is when you try to help promote somebody, and I know Brian, I think Brian's on this call right now. Brian will back me up on this, is where you promote somebody and then they don't open their own parachute. They continue to free fall. They don't promote themselves more. That what you say, and people are, their obscurity is their range is gone. They don't have any. Not that I'm like going to have 1,000 people follow you after I say, hey, you got to follow them, but they don't. They're so humble, or they're so their humility is so high. It's not. It takes away from what I'm trying to do to help them. You know, that's frustrating. That's frustrating, and I do it, and I say that because a lot of people don't know about self promotion. They don't feel comfortable with it. And there's some people that just don't feel like they're worthy of it. And it's like, how do you, do that? Now I know what I expect. I mean, you guys are pretty gracious, I'll have to say, because I'm going to be a little bit more assertive than that. I know that people,
okay.
I know that people, I know what I expect. I'm from the old school that you should, you try to help those that can't help themselves first off. Okay. And that's the golden rule. You should treat others as you want, to be treated. But I also believe that if, and just about everybody that I've helped out with, without saying this live on air, has been this way. They've been cordial. They've been supportive back to me. And even if it's a note, a message, not posting it on Facebook, but from a messenger standpoint saying, hey, I really appreciate the time you said that for me. Thank you. Because they're busy, or they might not like something I posted. They might not like my artwork, but at least they acknowledge that I did something. But if I'm supporting a Kickstarter, or if I'm supporting your basis, if you can financially, I would love for you to look at my artwork. I'm not asking you to drop $300-400 on some of my stuff. Some of my stuff's expensive. I don't expect that. But there might be something that might be a promotion, like a print or something that might be a good gift for Christmas or Hanukkah or whatever, and look at it from a standpoint of, would you rather spend $5 with Ted Davies Artistry? And I'm not doing it from a standpoint of being greedy, but I'm being realistic. If I end up investing financially in somebody's stuff, I might not say it out loud, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, me being Ted, I probably would expect them to maybe share the wealth. And I'm not saying the same amount; it could be less. But I'm being realistic. I'm not.
Yeah.
You guys can be. I'll be the bad cop. You guys can be the good cops. But I think that it's to say that it's not authentic, and I'm not trying to be a jerk to anybody, because I know that things are expensive, and I understand that. And I've had people, but I give a lot of free stuff out too, and I do that with the intent, nothing back, and that's fine. I don't mean that. But if I'm really being honest with myself, I know that when I support people financially, it might not be right now, but down the road, I'm expecting maybe that they might help me out. If I'm trying to reach a goal on Kickstarter, and I know that sounds really egotistical, Carl. I know you're analyzing me right now, but
No.
I would rather be Ted and be true to that and say, hey, you know what? And I'm not saying that to everybody. I'm not saying it to everybody as far as Kickstarters. Sometimes I don't. I like the artwork, and I like the storylines, but that probably is all I want to be part of in that world with that artist, because I don't really like them personally.
That's fair.
Present company excluded, of course.
Cool.
But I'm just saying that. But you have to balance it all out. So, but when I say that to you guys, I think you guys both did a good job, and I think it's heartfelt, politically correct, heartfelt. But I would prefer to say that I know deep down, I would say, yeah, I still want them to. It would be really nice for them to help me out if this goes live or whatever.
And I have
isn't that conceited? I know. I'm sorry. I don't want to turn anybody off. I don't want to turn anybody off on the listening end of it either. But
that's a very human response,
Mm-hmm.
But I think all of us at one point are going to feel that way.
Yeah.
Here we are, we're becoming friends. We're networking.
Right.
We're meeting out there, and we're thinking, okay, Ted doesn't have money right now, but I know one day Ted's going to turn around. He's going to at least plop down a few bucks on a comic or a print or something like that with me, you know,
Right.
and that's how, you know, as you know, a lot of us do think that way, you know.
Yeah.
I know in the beginning when I started, I used to be like, man, I bought this guy's book and that guy's
Right,
book, and
right.
that. Why isn't he supporting me?
Right. Right.
Why is he like ignoring me completely? You
Right.
know? But you know, as I grew a little older and
Mhm.
more mature, I started to
Mhm.
say, you know, I don't know the guy's situation, you know.
Right. And everybody's different. Yeah, perspectives are totally different. And you're right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Carl, what do you think as far as ego and all that? I mean, I just threw it out there as a you know, a little sandpaper a little bit on this. I want to just see stir the pot a bit. What do you think?
You know, I started a humor page on Facebook.
It's hilarious. Do you I give a shout out for it right now. Everybody needs to join this page. If you're not on it yet, Jake, you do. Go
Friend
ahead.
me and ask. I'll put people on. It's
I
Uncle
will.
Carl.
I will delete a friend just to get you.
Oh, thank you. You don't have to do that though. Just PM me.
Okay.
Okay.
Or Ted. He can invite you in there.
Sure. Sure.
But it's an invitation only because it's Uncle Carl's secret humor group.
Sorry. Okay. But
And
I will promote your secret group.
Okay. Thank you.
Right,
I
sorry.
appreciate it. Yeah, I had it closed, a private group, just to try out some stuff I was going to do as stand-up someday. You know, as my secondary livelihood eventually after retirement. And I told people, you're going to get jokes for free for about 3 or 4 years, okay?
Right.
But I expect a bunch of you to show up when it's $40 a seat someday.
Yeah.
Okay. One show, that's all you got to do.
Yeah.
But you're going to get free jokes and you're going to get entertainment.
Mhm.
And I'm going to give you a lot more than your $40 worth. That's for sure.
Sure.
So,
What-
but I told them that up front.
Mhm.
Here's
Right.
what you're getting.
Right. We've had one of the things too. I've learned as far as promoting, being on the sales floor at Comic Cons is interesting when you, which we haven't been on, you know, at least for the last 6 months or whatever. But you look at it as your neighbors. I've seen this happen a few times, and having artists help each other artists out with they might not have a pen, or they ran out of something happened, the paper, something, and they're all bartering, and they're all trying to help each other, and that's part of it too. So if you're promoting, don't necessarily mean cash means. I mean, I promote by giving books away, or you know, there's a bunch of different ways you can do it to where you're not bartering, but you're trading, if you want to call it that.
And Comic Cons, that happens a lot. You know, you're sitting next to the guy, you're like, hey, I like your book. Let me swap my book with your book. You know?
Right. And it's even Steven, right? You got, and that's the way to do it. I think it's, and I know we all don't get wealthy that way, but I mean, it's
one more person that read your story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then they might do a review for you, maybe online, or maybe you guys could work that out. Maybe you do a review on your YouTube channel, and vice versa. But yeah, there's always we can help each other out. I mean, that's the biggest thing about promoting your peers for me, at least.
Yeah.
I don't think that we're I don't think that we're as divided as a nation as people think, at least in the comic book industry. I think we have forget that. As far as writing, I think that there's a lot of people that we're already recluses as it is, you know, but I think that we're
Meredith, you ate food. How dare you?
Exactly.
I see you out there. I just went over and I just read that.
Oh, she ate.
Katrina's right. I'm barely paying attention over here. I didn't even see that. Hi, Katrina. Hi, Brian.
We have a lot of people. Can you guys read the chats, or can you read the statement?
I'm glad that Jake pointed out that she had the food first, because the first thing I read is on the panel, not 3 of my favorite people. What?
We were on the plane.
I didn't read that.
Like,
I didn't read
eating
that.
Jake's brains.
Way to promote us, Meredith. Thank you. So,
Brian put up a while ago. You were talking, Ted, about, you know, helping people out, and then they would not go the next step. And Brian said, yes, sometimes they expect you to carry them. Once you help them, you expect them to row their own boat.
Yes.
I do agree with that. You see, and that's one thing about indie creators. Sometimes indie creators are their worst promotion team. They don't do nothing.
You're spot on with that. Yes.
You're like, yo, bro, all you need to do is just share your post to a few groups. You
That's
know,
it. It's a click of a button. Yeah.
I think younger creators these days do it more.
Mm-hmm.
They do more self promotion. You know,
Mm-hmm.
people are getting into the groove of it, but still, they could do more.
I'm careful on how I do it. I know that you post a different ICC and a few other things. I know, Carl, you do too. And I've been careful because I don't want to promote where I'm not supposed to promote. And I have to get through that. That's just my head trip.
Oh, I promote where I don't promote.
Because I've had people say,
you don't
"Oh,
like
it's
it,
not."
they can block me.
Right. But I don't want that. I don't want that either. I've had people say, "Oh, I can't believe that he sent me a request, 2 days after he just met me on Facebook." And I'm like, "Where'd that come from?" You know
You're
what I
a
mean? It's like,
stalker now. They're
right,
trying to
yeah,
say?
right. I'm like, I just joined all your pages. What are you
It's
talking
called
about?
social media, guys.
Right. So, but yeah, I'm with you on both of those things.
I
But
guess they're practicing social distancing on Facebook now.
what's the worst? I don't have this on the questions list, but what's the worst way a promotion can go? I mean, here's one thing. I mean, you've got people that are having problems with sexual deviancy, whatever, and they've been established authors and they're doing things, and you promoted them in the past. Then all of a sudden, they're not very valuable anymore because they're on a list. They're on a hit list for things. I mean, promoting can be really dangerous in some respects, because if it comes out somebody's a Nazi or God knows what after you've really liked their work, how does that,
Besides the person being a Nazi or a child molester.
Yeah, right,
You know,
right.
Yeah.
There are people that do fall in and out of vote for, they voted for Trump or they
Right.
voted for
Right.
this or that. That's people have a lot of weird reasons why
Yeah.
they hate somebody.
Sure.
And a lot of times I'm like, hey, I'm not in the middle of that. If you don't like me no more because I'm their friend now,
Right.
I have controversial friends,
Sure.
and we
I do
all
too.
do.
I do
know,
too. Yep.
And I'm not going to suddenly be like, well, these days people don't like people wearing red shirts anymore, man.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Right.
You like wearing red shirts. I can't be your friend no more.
Mm.
We got to try to have a middle ground still,
Right.
not so much cancel out everything because, it's not in fashion anymore. And it is a juggling act,
Sure.
sometimes,
Sure.
you might have to distance yourself from
Sure.
that
And that's
person.
why I use the word curate,
Yeah,
not kill it. Because
Yeah.
curating, you can still be part. I see a lot of really, really good people. I don't look at politically the same way that they do, but I know what they do for outreach. I know what they've done for people in the city and the township that I live in, and what they do to help people. But I don't necessarily like the way that they are politically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's something I just don't. I'm just really select on conversations that we talk about, or you know what I mean? It's like, oh yeah, Ted does comic books. That's great. And they support me and I appreciate that, but I'm with you on that. My biggest thing is I just don't want to have, I'm throwing it out there, promoting somebody and then it comes back and they're not, they're just a little bit, they're not very savory afterward.
Okay.
Can you separate the artist from the art? I mean, that's a classic, question. That,
Sometimes you have to.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I can see like Alfred Hitchcock, his art.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Not a nice person, probably.
Yeah.
From everything I've read, but his work is fantastic.
Oh yeah. It changed generations. I mean, yeah. Absolutely.
And there are plenty of writers like that too,
Mm-hmm.
And I can say, okay, yeah, I don't particularly maybe like them, but I can like what they've written in this particular
You
case.
can love the work, but you can hate the person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I studying fine art in college, and that when I had a really, really awesome professor that talked about the personalities of the people that painted, like Picasso. A lot of people don't know that he got enraged a lot, and there was some spousal abuse. There's a lot of things in there that's really deep. That at least we were studied a little bit more, or they talked about.
We're all human,
right?
all
And that's
have
true.
flaws.
And we make mistakes, and that happen. And I totally. But it doesn't take away from the fact that Picasso's work's, very interesting to me.
Yeah.
I looked at, there was things that Monet did to create those lily ponds, diverting water that ruined farms down the road from him. People were devastated, but you've got to look at it for everything that it is. You can separate the artist. I'm not saying that everybody can do that, but promotion has to be curated too. That's what I'm getting
Yeah.
at. You have to be
Sure.
you have to be selective on what you're doing, and that's whether it's financial or whether it's. I know that some people, because right now, like you were saying, Jake, politically, they might have a post on their private page that you don't get along with, but on their art page, it's just they're just drawing flowers and stuff or whatever, or comics. So you have to, you've got to suck it up, Buttercup, or just, do what you think's fair. But yeah, so that, it's a balancing act with all of it. But promotion is a key to everyone's success here. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. So, but we are human, Jake. I think you're absolutely right, and Carl, I think that you've got an interesting perspective on it, being your background. It's to your advantage, in a dangerous way. I don't know if I'm gonna have you on another show or not. It's a little scary. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Well, it's like, okay, for instance, Jake, since we're talking about this, like some people don't like guns or whatever else, and that, I'm a supporter of the amendment and everything else. I think that's great as long as you're in sound mind. You know what I mean? That's fantastic. But a lot of people don't like guns and comic books and whatever, and they get really intense. And
I got a lot of people like that in my family. How dare you draw guns on your cover? I'm like,
right. Well, yeah, I get it, and I understand that, but it's like, okay, I have other friends that, they specialize in fully automatic weapons, and that's that's their enjoyment. Right. They're not going to hurt anybody, but that's what I mean. But some people might not like it because I talk about reincarnation in my books, and they don't promote me because of that. And that's cool too. That's just part of it. So, I get it, but it's just an interesting format of how we have to curate as why we promote. But do you think though, in general though, I think promotion is just like breathing. I think we have to do it. I think that's part of,
have to, man.
If you want to sell something.
You definitely.
Yeah.
24/7. Privet.
Right.
It's like this bottle of water. You got to drink it like Kool-Aid. But it's clear.
Okay.
I had a podcast. He always said, always be pimping.
Yeah, that's a good. Yeah. Always. Oh, I heard always be hustling, which is fine. But
that's much better. Thank you.
Yeah. Pimping might be a little, if we had to curate promotion.
These days that's bad, man.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Whatever. It's all good.
I had to work on my wife. Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I had to work on my wife for the longest time to carry her books in the car. Because we get somewhere, somebody would ask her, and she'd say, "Oh, I don't have one."
Right.
What is that? No,
right.
There is no I don't have one. Let me step out to the car real quick and get you one.
Sure.
Yeah.
Be right
back. Have a little box ready in the trunk.
Right.
And, because that's what I do. I have 2 different books right now in my car, ready to sell if somebody said something. You just always want to be ready for that.
Yeah, you do. Sure. Because, somebody's going to ask you, hey, what do you do? And you're going to be like, I write books. And then you're going to be like, oh, yeah.
Are you on Amazon or, and if you're not on Amazon, well, okay, it's in my car. It does help. I mean, it does.
Yeah.
And we've got one of those little square things that you plug into your phone so you can take credit cards. Yeah. Somebody says, I'd love to get this. I want this, but I don't have any cash on me.
Right.
I accept debit.
We accept debit credit cards.
Yep.
Thank you very much.
I mean, that was it's something right now that's we have a Square, and it's that's you gotta it's just part of business now. It's like a website or a Facebook page or whatever. You've got to have. There's certain structures you have to have in the industry now, and if one of them is having, I've got comic books, at least the ones I've got left. Thank God, what a blessing that is. But in my wife's car, a couple of them. I've got some in my car. I'm ready, if there's, but again, this is a weird thing too. Have you had people not have asked not to sign your books? Isn't that weird? I thought that was really bizarre because usually they want you to sign them, right? Autograph them, right? But I had a person ask me, they wanted 2 books. They wanted one signed, one not. I said, okay, you're putting that on eBay or what's going on? He says, maybe. He said, that's why I'm waiting. I'm like, thank you, I think. I don't know if that's good or bad. I don't know if that's good or bad. He says, well, I just want to have a second one just in case, I'm like, how about a third one? That way you can read one of them. How about that?
Well, people want pristine versions.
I guess.
I don't get them graded like
for
a CGC or something like that.
Right. But I mean, like at the comic book stores, they want me to sign them. That was the thing. They put them on the shelf signed, which is that's the way to do it. I mean, that's it's just that little extra to the consumer, and I don't think that's a big deal. I ask Jake, I told you I want the stuff that I'm ordering from you signed, and that's I would love to have it signed. That's the whole idea, the interaction with the artist and the author, But all right, listen, we're running into the last 9 minutes, so let's do this. Let's talk a little bit, Jake. Where can everybody find you? What are you working on? Tell us about the Kickstarter and all that good stuff.
Okay, right now I have a Kickstarter called the Golden Cream Core. You can find that on my social media pages. If you can't find it, I can just give you the link as well. It's Golden Cream Core on Kickstarter. On top of that, I'm also working on an anthology series with Nino Mezzarina called SCCX, which is abbreviated from Space Coast Comics. Mm-hmm. And then I'm also working on Bocas, my comic. I've been on a drawn frenzy the last several months.
Good.
So I've been working on that. So I keep on working that, and then been also working and writing my script the script for Bocas 2 is done, the movie. Mm-hmm. And then I'm still working on other scripts for other books and other comics, and my mind's always going. I drive my wife crazy. I'm like, oh, I got another idea, and I start, doodling, and she's like,
sure.
Are you nuts? I'm like, hey, baby, I can't help it. I barely sleep sometimes. I'm like, I wake up, and I'm like, vampire, ooh,
I got that, yeah.
I'm nonstop going. So on top of that, you also can find my movie Bocas on Amazon Prime. Mm-hmm. Right here I'm promoting it. If you see this cover, this beardless version of me, check it out. I'm on Amazon Prime. Bocas,
Okay. All right, very good.
Yes, when you're watching it, guys, remember I'm also 6'9", so don't get scared. I'm on TV.
How'd they fit you in the screen, man? Jeez.
I'm barely fitting here. Help me out. I can't get out.
Do you have a website, or are you on Facebook, Instagram? What's
Yeah, you can find me on spacecoastcomics.com. Is double X, guys. I know I went weird. I almost went pornographic there. Space Coast Comics. Mm-hmm. You drop the CS and it's XXX 2X.
And I follow you too. So if anybody's on here follows me, get on there and you can
find me on Facebook, Twitter. I'm everywhere. Mm-hmm. You see my picture somewhere or a drawing of me or something like that.
Got it. Okay, Carl, give it to us, man. Where can we find you? What are you up to? What's going on? What do you got happening?
Well, as Katrina says, she says always be networking.
Yeah, always. You're right.
That's a nice
absolutely.
So while you were talking, I was promoting on both YouTube and Facebook, typing in where to find me. But
gotcha.
Always be pushing, guys.
Yeah.
I'm on Facebook under my name here, Carl Witzman. Mm-hmm. On Lulu.com, I have like 4 or 5 books up there. Most of them are like computer books that are for older pieces of software. Mm-hmm. But hey, who knows? Somebody might need some help with Audacity or something. So there you go.
Cool.
I have a memory book out, so help you improve your memory.
That's good.
That's on Lulu. And then, of course, the Mad Gasser Cheerleader is on Lulu as well.
And now how on Lulu, is it lulu.com? And then you find your name? Is that how you search it? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Very good. And what are you doing right now? Are you working on some other books besides our cigar aficionado thing that we're going to be doing?
I've been concentrating on that, thinking, how can we introduce people to the gentlemanly or ladylike art of enjoying cigars?
Sure.
So I've been thinking about that,
So people don't know, Carl and I have gotten a crazy idea that since we both enjoy cigars so much, we wanted to offer a 1 or 2 hour event, maybe once a month online.
That sounds fun, man.
Just to just to show people how to light a cigar, how to punch or cut a cigar. Not because we don't want to promote cancer or anything like that, but we just want to show you that there's an enjoyable way to do it. We can pair it up with a cup of coffee or a glass of wine or scotch or something like that, just to show you what flavors are there. And that was kind of what Carl and I were talking about. But that's going to be soon. We'll launch a little bit of a page on that soon. But
nice,
just to give it. But it'll be a lot of fun, and it's something that and that's something too that's promoting too, because it's you. If when you, Jake, if you've got a book or something else that's going on, or that, we like the same artist or something, and we end up, we can promote together on a review with YouTube or anything like that. I think that'd be great. That's the whole thing about promoting. If you've got two people that really like something and that you can maybe make aware other people about it, maybe they might like it as well, and it takes off from there. And that's part of promoting too. But I really appreciate you guys stopping in and giving me an hour of your time, and
it's a pleasure
putting up with me.
Pleasure meeting everyone else out there.
And promote your friends. Don't be a butt beard.
Don't be a butt beard.
Don't be a butt beard. I love that. That's good. You got to get that on a shirt. That one that you were talking about the 6 foot, keep on the back 6 foot, keep 6 feet away from me, and on the front, don't be a, what is it? Don't be a butt beard. Okay, I have to remember that.
That came up in a show at the beginning of this event. It has been mentioned in every show.
Okay.
Brian just reminded me to mention it. So
that sounds good. We one of the things about this panel that I enjoy is that I have hopes for my beard growth in the next few weeks. You guys are like, you've got, the macho beards, the muy macho. That's awesome.
I have to trim that down. Next time I get it trimmed, I'll send you some. You can do a weave. A weave. Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be white. It'll be white soon anyway. I'm getting there. Well, thanks for promoting my beard, Carl. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I want to tell everybody thank you again for stopping in. You can find me at teddaviesartistry.com. Everything Ted there. TED Talks, everything, Facebook, Instagram, you name it, is all there. So
he's awesome.
Thank you, Jake. Appreciate that kindly. So any other words, guys, before we head home? Anything else? Keep watching Indie event, guys. We're gonna have a good time. There's a lot of things going on right now. There's a lot of great people, a lot of great creators. I want to shout out to Meredith Lundgren for all that she's been doing, and the whole group of awesome, if you want to call them performers that are here. It's a pretty awesome thing. So, and I appreciate everybody's time. Hopefully we got a playback here too. We'll get some more comments. So, and we'll talk to you soon. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good day. Enjoy yourselves.
Ciao, guys.
All right, you guys stick around.